keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. Smash the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Let's see. We got a poll in the chat for your attention. Is the safe haven narrative officially done for? Yes, cash is king. No, it's a bear trap. Only for Bitcoin. Metals are fine, or I don't care. I'm buying the dip. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, we are still in the bunker. Bunker is our safe haven. Since gold and silver are taking a big fat dump. Bitcoin currently trading at $70,092.69. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at on the 12-hour. I am happy to announce that I've begun watching Peaky Blinders, and it is thoroughly enjoyable show so far. We've got 69,584, 69,584, 69,584. I can't type today either, apparently. Jeez. Normally I just can't read. Can't type either. Let's go. I'm going to go right here to this big guy, 68,610. We're going to do 3 for the bottom because there's a lot of stuff down there. We'll go all the way down right here, 66,283. And then up top, what do we got up top? We've got 70,720. And then at the very top, all the way up, I'm going to go 73,209. There's our chunk to the upside. Let's see where that gets us. Currently, we've recoupled to the fractal. We'll see if that becomes relevant or not. We have fully retraced. Money flow is still positive. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave as well. Definitely potential upside here. Mercury retrograde ending on Friday, actually. Either end of Friday or beginning of Saturday. We'll see if that has any relevance on the charts. That would be kind of cool if we got a monster pump coming out of that. Actually, I want to ask Grok that because I feel like that's a good question. We're gonna go fast. Is Mercury coming, or Mercury retrograde ending, usually bullish or bearish for stocks and crypto? Just based on the astrology traders info, just to see, you know. Okay, Bitcoin up 0.15% and declining. Bitcoin dominance 58.81, seemingly rejecting 59%. We'll see what happens there. If it does reject that properly, then 58.5 is going to be our next zone of test, in my opinion. I don't know if Market Cipher applies to this, but we do have a green dot in the momentum wave there. ETH up 0.19, fully retraced our move here. We lost 2250, and we're currently potentially looking to test 2K. We're at 2140 right now, maybe 2100 holds. We are back below our purple trend line though, and that's not great. So want to get back above that and continue to the upside would be ideal. Money flow still positive, and we got a green dot in the momentum wave. This might be the beginning, man. We might just be chopping slowly to the upside if this is the beginning of a proper uptrend. Solana, on the other hand, looks a little bit better than ETH and Bitcoin. We did reject our lower trend line here, but we are actually holding above our orange trend line here at 88, and we're at 88.96 right now. If we can continue to hold that, that would be ideal. Money flow here is still positive as well. We get a green dot in the momentum wave. We're about to potentially get a bullish crossover the moving average on the RSI. We'll see what comes of that. Total 3 is up 0.04%, 722.31 billion. Double top rejection of 750 billion, and potential support at 720. If we lose that, look for 700 support. Otherwise, it's going to fall, and we'll have to look for our next support level if it does, besides 711, but that's just kind of arbitrary number. ADA is up 0.37%, currently trading at 26.86. Can we get back above 30 on this thing eventually? We didn't even get anywhere near it over here. Maybe we're doing an MW for most of these assets. I feel like that's entirely possible. Money flow over here is still positive as well. Green dot in the momentum wave and a potential bullish crossover the moving average on the RSI approaching. SNAC is up 1.18% on the day, currently trading at 48.94. Can we get back above 5 here? That's going to be important. If we don't, then we're probably going to continue to slip and slide to the downside, which is not ideal, but good DCA opportunity if you're a believer. Midnight. Ooh, Midnight lost 46.94. It's getting pretty bleak over here. Where are we at, actually? Getting near the entry, which is my biggest red flag. It is oversold in the 4-hour time frame. If you get a bounce somewhere, you got potential bull div here. So keep an eye on that. But that bull div will eventually lead to further downside and price and upside in RSI, though. So that's not ideal. You got a green dot of the momentum wave pointed to the upside. And that's pretty much it. Losing 4.6 is pretty bad. If it's going down to test 4, that's pretty far. So we'll see what happens. What's going on with Hedge? XRP broke out of this wedge, symmetrical triangle, or just the upper trend line if you don't really like the lower trend line, which I'm 50-50 on. Broke above that. Looks like we're potentially retesting right now. We got a little MW going on. MW. So let's see if that results in a break of 150, a solid break of 150. Green dot of the momentum wave pointing to the upside with positive money flow. Let's see if we get a bullish crossover the moving average on the RSI in the coming days. Everything else I'm going to skip. Not really feeling like it, to be completely honest. Everything's pretty much looks the same. Same as it did yesterday. What's going on? 88 metals. Guys, check out the poll in the chat. Gold. Gold losing quite a bit of ground today. There is zero incentive to hold gold at the moment, apparently. It is just another retail trap. They're trapping us in every single asset that they can think of, and we're falling for it over and over again. So maybe we should just stop buying everything. Just for like a month, nobody buy anything. I think that'd be really funny. Just watch the suits panic. And they'll, you know how many checks they'll probably send out? Oh my gosh. That would be so funny. If we could actually properly organize that, it'd be crazy. I don't want to be the guy that organizes it, though, because I don't want to be a target. We got a green dot at the moment, then we pointed the upside on gold. I don't know if that even applies, to be completely honest. RSI is incredibly oversold on the 4-hour time frame. What's a daily look like? Not quite oversold on the daily. Huge pullback. Enormous pullback. Are we coming all the way back down to test that 42.50 level? Time will tell. But for now, it's looking pretty bleak. You know, we got some wicks indicative of some buy pressure, but who wants gold at 46.49? You know, we just lost 5K. It's not looking too hot. Might rebound. That'd be cool if it did, but for now, I would stay clear. If you don't have any already, don't FOMO. But I'm not a financial advisor. Do what you guys want. Silver down 0.14. Trying to make up its mind. It did hold 70, which is good. That's good, I guess. We were looking for it to hold 80. Didn't stand a chance. Immediately broke below 77. And now we're at 72.72. Bouncing off of 70 with a nice wick indicative of some buy pressure. Let's see if we, I don't know, are we going to retrace down to this upper trend line that has 2 previous points of confluence? Maybe. If we do, will that result in a bounce? I don't know, actually. We got a green dot of the momentum wave here, negative money flow, and we just came out of oversold on the RSI with a bullish cross over the moving average on the 4-hour time frame. DXY big dump on the DXY. We lost 100 for the second time now. We lost it before, back here, rejected, got a little midpoint support around 99.5. Bounced off of that, rejected this attempt as well. We're currently sitting at 99, what is that, 99.250? No, it's an arbitrary number, 99.2, I guess. We'll see if that ends up holding, or if we can continue to the upside. Did you guys hear that creepy noise? Oh, it was my toolbox. I'm getting creeped out, man. There's the ghost of the US dollar is haunting me. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, 46.18 and 21 cents. This thing back at the last low, actually, from November. Whew. So far, it's not looking too hot for Mr. Donald Trump, I'm not going to lie. I think that the damage is done already. I think he's screwed on midterms. And with that, if this continues, I don't want to get too political, but speculating, you guys heard it here first. Probably not first. There's probably 1,000 people talking about this. Speculating, I think if something doesn't happen within the next, like, 4 days, Trump's going to get impeached. I think that the Democrats are going to take the House and the Senate, and they're going to impeach him after midterms. I think he's screwed himself right now. So he better get down on his knees and start sucking, man. I'm not going to lie. 88 said, thought the bunker was compromised for a second, dude. I got a little spooked. I thought my I don't know what I thought. Somebody was here to take my beans. All right, NASDAQ down 0.1%. 24,382. Looking boring. This thing's been sideways since frickin' February, beginning of February. Actually, if you really count, it's been sideways since September, so. We can't even get like a spicy fractal to play out. Oh, actually, that looks pretty good. Let's see if we continue to the downside from there. I'm just gonna continue scooting this stuff over. Trump rolls out of Iran, gas dumps, he tosses you a 3K check just before midterms. I'm still voting for the other side, just on principle. I don't give a shit, dude. I'm gonna vote for the other side, and I'm gonna take a picture of it, and I'm gonna tag it. I'm gonna make a Truth Social account, take a picture of it, and tag him, just for fun. Oh man, good stuff, good stuff. All right, S&P currently $6,606.48, down 0.28% on the day. This thing's fully following our Doom fractal that we've recently adopted. And I'd say we adopted it. Where did we adopt it? After we started to decouple right here. So I'm going to assume we started to copy that bad boy right around... No, it wasn't the end of February. It was beginning of March at the very least. Probably right here. I don't know. We'll see if this continues to play out. If it does, we're going to bounce off of 63, or are we going all the way down to 6 grand? Either way, our 20% retrace, I think, is at 61.47. Nope, I lied. Our 20% retrace is 5,600. It's going to be a deep, deep, deep pullback. If it gets any more dicey than it already is. And it's pretty dicey. There's some highly coordinated doomium out on the timeline out there today, monitoring the situation. 88 said, can I ask if you own QQQ or SP, JJ? I do not own either of those. QQQ. 594.11. We did a fractal on this, though. Interesting. Very, very interesting. What is this from? Because I very clearly took it from somewhere and stretched it out. Let's see. Copy paste. That ain't that, is it? There's no way. Is it? That goes to show how easy it is to make that stuff look similar. Maybe I took it from a completely different asset. That's possible. And then stretched it out to fit. Oh, is that it? That's it. Yep. Dang. Okay, I got excited. Fahid said, don't think those checks ever coming? Yeah, I don't think it matters, honestly. It don't really matter. He can send me a check for how much money he wants, unless it's like $150,000 and I can actually cash it. It's not going to do nothing for me. They'll probably just say it and forget about all that. He already did that. They were like, we're going to do stimulus checks. And then somebody asked him about it like 2 weeks later, and he was like, I don't remember saying that. He just like gaslit everyone. I didn't say anything about that. What do you need a stimulus check for? What are you, poor? Are you poor? You little poor. Oh no, I'm poor. The president made me poor. I don't care. I'm the president. That's how it feels, man. That's how it feels. Oh, the president. All right. Nvidia down 1.02%. What is SP88? Is that a stupid question? It's probably a stupid question. Nvidia still sideways, boring. 179, 812 cents. Very cool. Good for them. Tesla. Oh, Tesla's taking a further big fat dump. I like it when Elon starts to post cope. He's like posting stuff for his alt accounts and stuff where they're like, they said that he couldn't do electric cars. Now Tesla's worth 4 billion or some 4 trillion, some ridiculous number. It's just silly. Like, why do you need to post that, bro? You're literally the richest man in modern history. It's okay. You're a little insecure. That's fine, but don't. It's cringy, dude. It's so cringy. I don't know. The compensation is real. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. In case you guys were not aware, the reason I call it Big B Coffee is because the logo looks identical. Saylor actually is the founder of Big B Coffee. Crazy stuff. Most people don't know that, but it's not that hard to start a coffee company, so he was going to call it Bitcoin Coffee, but that's illegal because Bitcoin is not public domain because it's not decentralized. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Imagine that's gonna be clipped when I'm like a super famous dude. They're gonna be like, "This idiot said Bitcoin wasn't decentralized." Just try to cancel me. No context. What's going on, Philly? What's going on, Pickle Rick? I am poor as well. I am 1000% poor. I'm actually so poor that I flip the scale and I'm considered upper class. I'm just kidding. Oh, I spilled my freaking coffee, bro. Dang it. I spilled my coffee trying to tell a stupid joke and it wasn't even that funny. Okay, I got emergency napkins. Not that big of a spill. Most of my coffee is intact. That's what I really care about, honestly. If I lose the coffee, I'll be very sad. I might have to get a new... It's not too bad. It's not too bad. This is our first on-stream spill? I've had moments where it's like leaked out of my chin and stuff, but never a spill before. This is crazy. Damn you, Pickle Rick. This is your fault. Shane Nicholas said Palantir silver semi. What does that mean? Silver like semi-chub? Silver sucks, dude. I'm so disappointed in silver right now. I've never been more disappointed in an asset. The crypto guy. JJ, nothing you do is funny, Philly said. That's probably true. Oh, delicious. Shane said Tau Hyperliquid Zcash. Let's go take a look at Tau's a good performer, dude. Tau performs very nicely. Bitcoin chilling. We might get some pumpage out of this. Tau USDT. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Tau is beautiful. Up 12.55% in this candle alone. Gosh, that's so nice. Honestly, I feel like Tau's probably going to front run everything. This is foreshadowing. Silver semiconductors is up massive. Well, the price of silver is down massive, so they must be doing really good. They're getting cheap silver. Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid. Yeah, Hype's gonna do the same thing that Tau just did. Bet. Watch it happen. I'm not a financial advisor though. AI Bitcoin? What's AI Bitcoin? Zcash. ZEC USDT. I'm not a big Zcash guy, man. I'm not entirely sold on the idea. I don't hate it. I think I prefer Monero. I don't understand the Zcash narrative. It was a big wedge, though. I guess it's possible for that to play out very nicely to the upside. Majority of people are probably buying right here. They're buying, buy, and then it's, and they're like, what the heck, man? I bought the Zcash and it's not even going up. It's a scam. Zcash is a scam. Nobody can buy anything and have the value decrease for like a week. Tau is like AI Bitcoin. Okay. No, because Bitcoin doesn't go up. think I prefer Tau to Bitcoin. If you told me that I had to hold one thing, I could do whatever I want with it, but I'm only allowed to buy one asset between Tau and Bitcoin to make money off of, I would buy Tau. And maybe that's stupid, but even if this thing went to zero, it would have more value proposition, in my opinion, than Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's market cap is too big, man. Not gonna make money off of it. They're building a Foundry Gore Zcash institutional grade. I don't know what any of that means. Those words mean nothing to me. Philly said Iran attacked Gulf Energy. Good thing I don't play golf. It was that bad? That's probably insensitive. I'm so sorry. We're gonna go to the news segment before I get in trouble again. Bitcoin $70,217, $224.93, potentially turning green here. Wow. Oh, let's actually see what Grok said. I said, is Mercury retrograde ending usually bullish or bearish? According to astrology traders and financial astrologers, the end of Mercury retrograde is generally viewed as bullish, or at least a relief point for stocks and crypto. Thank you. Who do we thank for the astrology people? Thank you, horse. I think that's the Chinese. Hold on. Who is the astrological god? Zodiac? We just thank the Zodiac. Greek Titan god of stars. Okay. Astraeus. Thank you, Astraeus. Very cool. Unless you dump, then I'll be very upset with you, Astraeus. Billy said, if you're only allowed to hold one thing, JJ, it's going to be your dick. No. Shane said, it's run by 3 AI agents or something, Tao. Look up the stock Sive, and you won't hate silver. I hate silver because I own silver. This is really good for them. It has nothing to do with silver, though. This is wonderful. Dang, look at that thing. You bought this thing on Monday, you'd be up 140. See what I mean? All the meme coin traders just went to stock market, man. We just gotta buy microcap stocks and hope that one of them gets picked up. Why is this up? Silver semiconductors. Let's get a new blank slate. Why is the stock Sive up so much this week? Okay, back to Bitcoin, chilling. Little gem of mine that's very nice gem. This, I was dying at this earlier, dude. We'll get to that in a second, though. Bull Theory posted, U.S. new home sales just crashed 17.6% in 1 month, the biggest drop in 13 years. Sales fell 11.3% year over year. This happened while mortgage rates were still falling. Now rates are rising again after the Iran war. The housing market is heading into worse conditions. Good. It's going to be so funny to me when people are incapable of selling their house, even for like pennies on the dollar. I'm going to laugh. From my stupid little ghetto apartment, I'm going to laugh at all of them. And I'm going to tell them, you should have lowered your price while people were still buying. Maybe you should have worked a little bit harder. Maybe you should get a side gig, take a part-time job. Then you could sell your house. Maybe. Ooh, I'm so excited. All right. Today, my 5-year-old laughed at this painting in the middle of a museum for like 6 minutes. This is pretty damn good, dude. This is me when I can't sell my house. That's so good. Oh, man. That's a beautiful painting, dude. Justin, Bitcoin falls under $70,000. We are back above 70,000. We're at 70,213. Thank you, Watcher Guru. Brent crude oil surges to 116 following strikes on oil refineries and gas plants in the Middle East. How many oil refineries and gas plants can we strike? You know, can't we let's just price in all of them being stricken. Let's do that right now. Treasury Secretary Bessent says U.S. may remove sanctions on Iranian oil that's on water. That's really funny. That's pretty good, actually. Philly said, is that JJ without his hat? No, that dude has so much more hair than me, Philly. The guy in that picture, the painting. Bitcoin crashes under 69K. Whoa! SEC Chair Paul Atkins says the SEC interpretation on crypto assets is just the beginning. Sweet. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says the agency is setting up framework for crypto so people can have certainty. North Carolina introduces bill to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the state. Very cool. Paul Atkins says crypto markets and the millions of Americans who participate in them deserve long overdue clarity. What a freaking legend. U.S. war with Iran has now cost an estimated $25 billion since strikes began. Money's fake anyway, so it don't matter. Treasury Secretary Bresson says we'll see if Karg Island eventually becomes a U.S. asset. Karg Island holds 90% of Iran's oil exports. Marty Party. Macro reading. U.S. home sales out. The latest U.S. new home sales data shows sales of new single-family houses in January 2026 came in at seasonally adjusted annual rate of 587,000. This is significantly below the expectations of 722,000, a miss of about 135,000, or roughly 18.7% below consensus, and represents a sharp 17.6% month-over-month decline from December 2025's revised rate of 712,000. Year over year, it's down 11.3% from January 2025's 662,000. Additional details from the report: median sales price $400,500, down 4.5% from December 2025's $419K, and 6.8% from January 2025 $429K. Average sales price $499,500. Inventory, 476,000 new houses for sale at end of January, December, but down 4% year over year. Up slightly from December, but down 4% year over year. Equating to 9.7 months supply at the current sales pace, up notably from 8 months in December. Most people don't lose. This is a good one, actually. Take note. If anyone's new to investing or you're feeling a little shaky at the knees, most people don't lose money in crypto. Just think of investing in general. Because the market is broken. They lose money because they buy when they're excited and sell when they're scared. That's it. That's the whole problem. Learn from this post. You cannot involve emotion. This is alarming. Comparing existing home prices to pending sales. Existing prices are up, pending sales are down. That's pretty makes sense, actually. Oh yeah, look how similar. He also pointed this out, that gold versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up while gold is down. It is kind of topical. We also had a bunch of people talking about the gold-Bitcoin correlation when gold was hitting like all-time high after all-time high. They said when gold finally tops, eventually, it takes a couple months, but eventually Bitcoin does turn around and start to perform better than gold. And so far, we've actually seen that happen. SIVE has surged dramatically this week, with massive gains driven by positive news, a detailed bullish blog post, and strong momentum in high-volume rally. The Yahoo Finance and other sources. Here's approximately weekly move. Main reason: strategic LiDAR customer production ramp. Influential bullish blog post. Broader positive developments. Momentum and market dynamics. They develop chips and modules in wireless and photonics for our optical networks, sensors, LiDAR. It's a smaller cap, volatile stock. So such moves often reflect hype around growth catalysts in AI photonics amid broader sector interest. Very cool. What's their market cap? What's their current market cap? I'm not going to read that whole thing just to see what if it says what the market cap is. Do we not have a market cap? There we go. 300 to 10 million. Depending on the exact exchange rate. That's a big difference. Okay, so it's a micro cap. Oh, 300 to 310. Okay. I get it. Bitcoin 70,275. 88 said, simple as that. Waterfly said, hello everyone. I apologize to room, but I have gas today. Yeah, make sure you guys smash the like button. Get those likes up. Help people see the channel. We did finally cross that 1,340 subscribers mark, which is pretty exciting. So I do appreciate you guys. Kobe SU letter. Wall Street selling gold and silver to retail investors. Wow. Who'd have thunk? Since Q2 2025, retail investors have bought $70 billion in gold ETFs. These purchases have more than tripled over the last 6 months. Over the same period, institutional investors have sold $1 billion, with outflows accelerating in late January after gold prices crashed 20% in just 3 days. Meanwhile, silver ETFs have recorded $10 billion in retail purchases over the last year. Over the same time period, institutions have sold $200 million. Retail investors are all in on precious metals. It's all those, I will say, the precious metals people, like, we all watched what happened with XRP. Here, I'm going to go to the big cam. Okay, I think we're back. Anyways, I was saying, the precious metals people are so good at getting you to buy, just by like posting a video. They're like, the deficit, the silver deficit, we consume X amount of silver and we only produce Y amount of silver. Y is not nearly enough to fulfill X's needs. No sound. You better refresh. I'm gonna sit here for a minute. Should I play some Pokemon? I do. I got my Game Boy right here. Oh, is the battery dead? Oh. I just gotta turn it on 18 times. Do you guys hear the Game Boy sounds? Pokemon Ruby. Let's go. Yeah, is this gonna be a Pokemon live stream now? Okay. It's actually Ruby. And it's original, it's not a copy. Even though I do thoroughly enjoy the copies. Because it gives you the... I could give a shit less if my copy's real or not, as long as I can play the game, you know? If it's forged or whatever, I don't care. Nintendo should manufacture more. Okay, Bitcoin $70,297. Let's get back to it. Make sure my screen's right. We're all good. Good. We got 7 votes on the poll. We got 12 people watching, guys. Go vote in the poll. Is the safe haven narrative officially dead? Let us know what you think. China's demand for gold remains robust. China officially bought 1 ton of gold in February, marking the 16th consecutive monthly purchase. Over this period, China has acquired 50 tons of gold. They've reported 50 tons of gold acquisition. By comparison, in 2022 to 2024, the buying streak lasted over 18 straight months. As a result, China's total gold reserves are up to a record 2,309 tons, or 10% of foreign exchange reserves. The percentage has doubled over the last 20 months. The current gold price of $5K an ounce, not anymore. China now owns 371 billion of gold. China is holding more gold than ever. Wow. What's Elon Musk's net worth? Let's just see really quick. Elon Musk's net worth is estimated 852 billion. Elon could buy all of their gold. Big Rick said, they should know us 90s kids will always play Pokemon. Oh, dude, always. 100%. I went out of my way. So I have I have a copy of Red, like the original Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color. I don't even know if it's for the Game Boy Color. It's for the original Game Boy because it's black and white. And I don't remember. I think JJ Games was the website I bought Ruby off of. It's so good. I used to have gold. I think I gave it to my cousin when I was a kid. All right. Brent crude oil prices surged to $119 per barrel after Israel strikes Iranian energy infrastructure, are followed by Iranian retaliation on Gulf energy infrastructure. Philly said Elon is worth how many billion? 850 something, I think it said. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Elon Musk's net worth is estimated $852.5 billion, which is pretty damn crazy. I think it would be really funny if out of nowhere Bezos just passed him and became the first trillionaire. I think that would be so funny. Because, him and Elon have been neck and neck for forever. Like, Bezos was the first richest man in modern history. And in, like, this decade, the last couple decades. And then Elon came out of nowhere and kind of took him. But I think it would be so funny if Bezos passed him and became a trillionaire first. Especially, it literally is like War of the Hair. Elon was going bald, got hair plugs, and it looks good. He looks like his hair looks great. It looks real. Never would have known. Bezos went the other route. He just shaved his entire head. Looks like Lex Luthor. So, hair plugs versus shaved. It's kind of funny. 88 said Elon got them shekels. Philly said Elon almost worth a trill. Oh yeah, dude. When they, I think, what was it, SpaceX and XAI, whenever those companies go public, I think he's going to be the world's first trillionaire. 88 said, oh yeah, Pickerick said, meanwhile, my value is like 35 cents. That's what cracks me up. Elon's like, you won't have to work soon. Pretty soon, we'll have universal basic high income, and you won't have to work. Okay, bro. Okay, richest man in modern history. Keep telling me how I don't have to work soon. When? You guys send me a check? Europe tells President Trump, this is not our war, as the Iran war hits day 20 per Reuters. European natural gas prices surge over 30% after Iran strikes Qatar's largest liquefied natural gas facility, responsible for 20% of global supply. I like that everything over there is just 20% of everything. Somebody posted something really funny, and I think Elon reposted it. It was like, why on earth would we set up a by-the-day supply chain of this important asset in the most unstable region on the planet or something like it. It was really funny. Let me see if I can find it. It was such a good post. He just reposted it. Right here. We got lazy. This person posted, which one of you bozos thought it was a good idea to build the entire world economy off just-in-time supply chains from the most unstable regions on the planet? That's pretty good. That's pretty good, dude. Just-in-time supply chains. That's pretty good, dude. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bezos travels the world on his ship while Elon's grinding every day. How much you need? You know? Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't think Elon's doing it for the money. I think the money definitely feeds his ego for sure. But I mean, once you reach a certain point, you're not doing it for the money anymore. If he was more philanthropic, then I guess I would have some sympathy for him. But when he posts shit like money really doesn't buy happiness, you know, you got like 84 kids, bro. Like, you're choosing at this point to not be happy. You can stop. Or you can keep going. What, you know, just do what makes you happy. You are literally the most capable person on the planet of doing whatever the hell makes you happy. So, I don't know. Philly said Jeff Bezos' net worth is only $228 billion. Elon has nothing to worry about. Crypto Spaces said there are no safe havens. No, oil. Oil's pretty safe. Also, cash right now is the safe haven. Which, by the way, we are supposed to discuss this according to the title. The safe haven right now is cash. Or I guess the lack of safe haven makes cash king. People are rotating into cash because cash is liquid and liquidity is tight. And people want liquidity. You can't have liquidity with gold and silver. Gold and silver are a hedge long term against inflation. We're not worried about inflation right now. We're worried about the planet. So everybody wants cash. There's government uncertainty. There's oil. All this stuff. Everyone bullish on Tau. Dude, Tau is ripping. Tau is like freakishly ripping. It's crazy. Look at this thing. Monster. Absolute monster. Billy said, news Elon Musk's wife is divorcing him, demands 50%. He's not married. I don't know if he's ever gotten married. It's pretty funny, though. I mean, it's not hard to get a prenup. It's so not hard to get a prenup. Especially if you're the richest man in modern history. But it is pretty funny that he just goes around having kids because he can. And then he just pays a shit ton in child support. Like, Elon's going out here having kids, and then he's like, yeah, I'll write you a check for $1 million, like $1 million a year. And it does nothing to his net worth. $1 million a year? Are you joking? Like, look at how much money Bezos makes every second. And then multiply that by 4. That's Elon. It's crazy, man. It's so crazy. Bitcoin falls 5K in 24 hours and drops below 70,000 as the broader sell-off accelerates due to surging energy prices. I really am considering getting a lottery miner. Crypto Spaces said, GG's Tau holders. I guess that's the time when leverage is good. What is? Divorce? This is absolutely insane. The world is quite literally facing what appears to be the largest energy crisis in history. It was the largest energy crisis in history like a week ago. It's still the largest energy crisis in history, I guess. My hands are dirty, by the way. I get grease all over them. U.S. crude oil futures are now trading at $20 per barrel discount on Brent, also one of the largest on record. Or to Brent, also one of the largest on record. As the U.S. increases production and taps into reserves, the EU is facing a full-out energy crisis. European natural gas prices are up another 30% today, and physical crude oil prices in Oman and elsewhere are trading at $150 plus per barrel. In other words, the gap between Oman and U.S. prices now stands at 70% or around 70% or $70 per barrel. It has become so bad for Europe that the market is now pricing in 2 interest rate hikes in 2026, even as the U.S. removes sanctions on Russian oil. U.S. rate cuts in 2026 are almost entirely priced out as a result of core PPI inflation on pre-war data rising to its highest since February 2023. The entire global economy just took a complete 180-degree turn within 3 weeks. The next few months is going to be historic. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's see. Oh, CryptoSpaces said if you were able to nail the Tau move. I mean, if you're able to nail any move, then leverage is great. 88 said Jeff Bezos' 2019 divorce from Mackenzie Scott resulted in a settlement of approximately $38 billion in Amazon stock, making it the most expensive divorce in history. What about, I thought Bill Gates. I thought Bill Gates was a big one too. That one was crazy. Or am I thinking of Jeff Bezos? One of them got divorced and that woman instantly became the richest woman in modern history, which was so freaking funny. Billy said, can you imagine having to pay 50% to your ex-wife divorce when you're worth $850 billion? Why would I care at that point? I'm worth $850 billion and you're going to take $400 billion? Oh no, what the hell am I going to do with only $400 billion? What? You could take all the billion, leave me with $100 million. I'll be happy. What the hell am I doing with $850 billion? I would be getting married and divorced all the time. Take half. It's ridiculous. 88 said probably worth a lot more if she held them. Mackenzie Scott later signed the giving pledge, and by 2025 she had given away over $14 billion of that fortune. Crazy. That's what I would do, dude. That's what I would literally. I would go to a city and I would just make everybody wealthy. Just because. Why not? Or maybe I'd do some kind of lottery or something. I think it'd be so much fun to just give a shit ton of money to people all the time. 88 said a $7.9 billion Gates divorce payout. Okay. Pickle Rick said, so, what is even happening? I cannot figure out what is happening in stocks and crypto. Stocks recovered a little bit because people were like, oh, we don't want to be at war anymore. But also Europe was like, I guess we'll help with the Strait of Hormuz now. We're going to help escort ships out because it's a peaceful envoy. So, I don't know. That whole thing bugs me. Like, straight up, the United States was literally just like, can you guys help us escort ships through the strait? And they're like, no, we're not going to help you escort ships. F you. We don't care. And now they're running out of gas and we're fine because we are 100% dependent or independent when it comes to gas production. And now Europe is like, okay, we need some of that gas like soon, so we're gonna help now. We're ready to help. We're gonna send some ships. We're gonna help. We're ready to help. It's embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing. The entire planet is an embarrassment right now. Ridiculous. That's what's happening. 88 said, you're right, Bill Gates' divorce in 2021 from Melinda Gates is the most expensive divorce, with Melinda getting $76 billion. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. $88.8 billion inflation adjusted. Damn. CryptoSpaces said it's a bear market pickle. Come back in October. 88 said, more like dependent on Canada, but I hear ya. Well, the Americas. I didn't say the United States of America. I just said we. I'm also from Michigan, so we're like part of Canada. We got our hand up Canada's butt. It sounds so much worse when you say butt instead of ass. Okay. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent says the U.S. may remove sanctions on Iranian oil that is on water. U.S. oil prices are now trading at near $20 discount to Brent. Spot gold extends its sell-off to minus $400 an ounce on the day, now trading at $4,500 an ounce for the first time since February 2nd. Number go down. Pickerick said, CryptoSpaces, did you just tell me to buy more? I think so. I think he told me to buy more as well. Right now. Are we doing it? Why not? Why the hell not, man? Let's do it. Excuse me while I purchase some more cryptocurrency with my useless US dollar. Very cool. You know what's really funny? During the pandemic, I literally just like spammed Coinbase to increase my limit, my buy limit, because it was stupid. I think it was like $100 a day or something like that. I was like, I'm gonna buy more than that because we were getting stimulus checks and stuff all the time. So I was like, increase, and then I think it went up to like $1,000, and now it's like $5,000. I'm like, when am I ever gonna spend $5,000 in one purchase? Are you crazy? Crypto Spaces said, I did no such thing, Pickle. The experts say bottom in October. You better listen. What experts? Get out of here with the experts. Spot gold, we talked about that. U.S. Pentagon has asked the White House to approve a more than $200 billion request to Congress to fund the war in Iran. Per Washington Post, details include the proposal would seek to urgently increase production of critical weaponry expended. Current cost of the war is nearing $30 billion in 3 weeks. Some White House officials do not think the Pentagon's request has a realistic shot of being approved in Congress. It remains unclear how much the White House will ultimately ask congressional lawmakers to approve. The funding request is likely to be a test of the war's popularity. You know what would be really funny? Or actually, this isn't even funny. I also have asked the White House to approve a $200 billion request to Congress. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. I'll let you guys know. If it does get approved, then we're all getting money. Every single one of us. Big Rick said, be right back. I need to buy before these so-called experts. 88 said, better get that $200 billion before midterms. Right. This chart, that's where they're going to watch them get the war budget increase. And they're like, well, because of the war, we're going to pay out of the war budget. We're going to pay stimmies. That would be so funny if they snuck that in there. Actually, would that be funny? That's actually kind of morbid. Because then people would be in support of war. Whoa. How to get everyone on board with the war. Tell them that the stimulus is in the war budget. Wow. Holy crap. That just blew my own mind. Crazy. All right. Thank you, Crypto Spaces, by the way, for telling me to buy more. This chart compares Brent global oil to WTI crude, U.S. oil. When the Iran war began on February 28th, U.S. oil prices surged toward 120 a barrel while Brent lagged, trading at around 20% discount to WTI crude. However, just 2 weeks later, and Brent hit a 15% premium to U.S. oil. Wow. That's crazy. Brent trade at near 20% discount to WTI crude. Brent surges. Man, that's volatile over there. That's crazy. Lastly, we conclude this chart summarizing our inflation models. If U.S. oil prices simply rise to where Brent is now for 3 months, we see CPI inflation at 3.5%. The global economy is rapidly evolving. Okay, you know what they should do? They should just print money. 88 said the sheeple would eat that shit up too. Oh, 100%. Well, it would be what would it be called? It would be like a war hardship dividend or something. Hardship dividend due to the war. Wartime dividend. They would give it some name to make it sound like it's not that bad. Well, the hardships due to the inflation caused by the war in Iran, when we're trying to eradicate terrorists, we decided to give a war dividend to the people in need. And they present it as like this humanitarian bullshit. Crypto Spaces said Hyperliquid also has the official S&P listed on it. Crypto adoption is happening, but it's only big caps. See, is that really adoption, though? What's the adoption there? Tokenization? Tokenization is it's great for the stock market. It is of pretty much zero benefit to crypto because it's all just tokenizing existing assets without an incentive to buy the cryptocurrency that's being tokenized on. Look at what happened with Ondo. Ondo tokenized pretty much every single stock. And they're doing so bad. Ondo has done so horribly. Look at the price of this thing. Ondo has so many freaking tokenized stocks available. And it's nothing. Every single pattern breaks down. That's crazy, dude. This is depressing. My bottom guess was 80 cents. Oh, no. That's crazy. 25.92. Yeah, unfortunately for us, Wall Street does not give a shit about crypto. They like the idea of tokenized because it's a benefit to them. Canton too. I actually don't know anything about Canton. Canton was one of the ones that came out of nowhere. Canton, what is this stupid ticker? CC? Yeah, this thing came out of nowhere. Oh, I have looked at it though. What the heck? When did I look at this? Okay. You're holding above 14. That's good. You get... Where's the launch price? It launched at 14. Or it listed on MXC at 14. It's right there, man. So it launched, pumped, sold off, rebound, beautiful rebound. Nice retest of that 11 area. Actually, not a bad chart. But it's too new for me. I have stupid principles. I'm aware of how dumb that idea is, but I'm just not willing to take my chances on stuff that's too new. But I've heard a lot about it. It's definitely got word of mouth, guerrilla marketing. Global oil markets are out of control. As the Iran war closes week 3, U.S. oil prices are trading at $97 a barrel, up 76% since December. Meanwhile, physical oil prices in Oman are up to a record $167 a barrel at a 72% premium. What is happening? Let us explain. We just read all of that stuff, by the way. Canton Coin is the native utility token of the Canton Network, a public privacy preserving blockchain designed specifically for institutional finance, banks, asset managers, etc. So midnight. They're just copying up midnight. It's cute. Iran is considering charging taxes and toll fees on ships who wish to cross the Strait of Hormuz because we blew up all their banks. Breaking. There remains considerable uncertainty over whether the U.S. naval escorts through the Strait of Hormuz promised by President Trump will be made available per the Financial Times. Details include Trump is exploring plans to require ships escorted by the U.S. Navy through the Strait of Hormuz to buy U.S. government insurance. The plan would require ships to purchase U.S. government insurance for hull, machinery, and cargo. The Development Finance Corporation is running the $20 billion insurance program. Current insurance premiums on a $100 million ship traveling through Hormuz are up to a massive $5 million. Brent crude oil prices are now nearing $120 a barrel. Following Iranian strikes, Qatar Energy may declare force majeure on LNG contracts for up to 5 years. I don't know what that means. Qatar currently produces a massive 20% of global LNG supply. Breaking, America's Arab allies are now fuming that they do not seem to have any influence with the Trump administration despite heavy investments of time and money, per Wall Street Journal. Arab Gulf countries recently committed to investing nearly $4 trillion in the United States. Ooh, damn. That's spooky, man. That is spooky. I'm telling you, he's messing up, dude. He's messing up bad. Breaking, escalating attacks on the Persian Gulf oil and gas infrastructure are sending the Iran war into a dangerous new phase that threatens to worsen the global energy crisis. Deja vu. Didn't we just experience this like a week ago? It's the same exact thing. Israel struck the crown jewel of Iran's energy industry, the South Pars gas field that Iran shares with Qatar and is by far the largest in the world. Iran retaliated with 2 attacks on a major gas hub in Qatar and a missile barrage fired at Saudi Arabia. Arab governments were furious about Israel's attack and the U.S. failure to head it off, officials said. Gulf countries have expressed that they now feel a target has been put on their backs. The global energy crisis is accelerating. They now feel like a target has been put on their backs? Didn't they feel that when they first got bombed by Iran? Am I wrong? I understand Iran was retaliating for U.S. and Israel attacks, but I think I was watching I don't remember the guy's name. He basically equated this. He's like, Iran attacking anybody else other than who attacked them is the equivalent of losing a Call of Duty game and then getting up and punching your dog. It doesn't make any sense. It literally makes no sense. 88 said, buy insurance from Trump Insurance. Crypto spaces had it launched at a massive market cap. That's always a big no-no for me too. Okay, hang on. 88 said, listen, it don't surprise me coming from a guy that thinks his plane's going down and won't fly. Tom Selleck's Goat said, someone told me JJ has the keys to the blockchain. Oh, yeah? To the blockchain breeze? 88 Metals Mania said, they're going to take that $400 million jet back from Donald. Oh, no. All right, let's continue. There's no way that jet's not full of bugs, you know? They probably filled that thing with mics everywhere. You probably hear and see everything that they're doing. Am I wrong? They're like, definitely fly this while you're doing like secret meetings and military stuff. This is great for secret meetings and military things. I love flying in my plane for secret meetings. You should totally try it out when you're having secret meetings. Oh man, funny stuff. All right. China is sitting on massive oil reserves. Chinese crude oil imports surged 15.8% year over year in February, the biggest monthly jump since August 2023. Growth rates have quadrupled since the end of 2025. After over a year of stockpiling, China has built up an estimated 1.2 billion barrels of reserves. This excludes 851 million barrels of commercial inventory, the supply that would likely be used first. Meanwhile, refiners could start drawing as much as 1 million barrels per day over the next 4 to 6 weeks. In the first week of the Iran war, Beijing already ordered its biggest refiners to restrict fuel exports and prioritize gasoline and diesel production over chemicals as a precautionary move. China is playing the long game amid the Iran war. That's smart. That's very smart. I would do the same thing. Jeff Bezos is in talks to raise $100 billion for a new fund that would buy manufacturing companies and use AI to automate them, per the Wall Street Journal. Look at him. He's so evil. It's adorable. The S&P 500 erases losses and turns green as U.S. oil prices fall below $93 a barrel, and it's still $4 per gallon at the pump. Russia's capitalizing on the Iran war. I would too. Last week, Russian seaborne crude oil shipments rose to 4.11 million barrels per day, the third highest weekly reading since April 2023. This brings the 4-week average to 3.44 million barrels per day, up 90,000 barrels per day from the prior week. This comes as soaring oil prices and 30-day U.S. sanctions waiver on Russian crude sitting on tankers have fueled the surge in exports. Meanwhile, prices for Russian crude delivered to India hit an all-time high, combined with rising export volumes. This drove Russia's largest weekly revenue increase since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russia is emerging as one of the biggest beneficiaries of the Iran war. Wow, who'da thunk? 88 said free 400 million jet, but cost USA 500 million to go through it for listing devices, right? Saudi Arabia is ramping up oil exports amid the Strait of Hormuz closure. Crude oil shipments from Yanbu, a port on Saudi Arabia's Red Sea coast, are up to 4.19 million barrels per day, 185% increase from the 1.747 million barrels per day. Moved through the port in February before the Iran war. See, if we could just do this, we could just replace all of that was lost. The surge is being powered by a 746-mile pipeline, rerouting crude from the eastern oil fields of Yanbu, bypassing the blocked Strait of Hormuz entirely. Good. This is what I've been saying. Why don't we just have a pipeline? This is beautiful. Saudi Arabia continues to be smart on the entire planet. I think it was them. And I don't know of their political affiliation, so if they're like assholes, I have no idea. I don't care. But I'm pretty sure it's Saudi Arabia that didn't join, I don't remember, it's the IEA or something similar. It's like this global gas club where they're like, we're going to all contribute and figure out what gas should cost. And they're like, no, we don't want to join. We're just going to charge what we think we should charge, and everybody in our country is going to be filthy rich. And they're all going to get a cut because F you. It's my gas. You can kiss my ass. And that's pretty much what they did. And it's freaking hilarious. I gotta fix my webcam. Oh, okay, that's better. I think it's Saudi Arabia. Don't quote me on that, though. We got 12 votes. All right, I'm going to end the poll. We're going to go on to poll number 2. I asked you guys, is the safe haven narrative officially dead? 33% of you guys said cash is king. Or yes, cash is king. 33% of you guys said, I don't care, I'm buying the dip. 17% said, no, it's a bear trap. 17% said, only for Bitcoin, metals are fine. All right, next poll. This one's going to be a fun one. Maybe a little divisive. Which asset bottoms first? We've got gold, gold and silver. We've got Bitcoin. We've got stocks. And we've got real estate. I'm going to say housing. Housing average. Start poll. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Which asset bottoms first? Gold and silver, Bitcoin, stocks, or the housing average? Bitcoin currently trading at $70,384.36. Or $405.36. Looking good. We got a little bit of green in the market. Very nice. Silver and gold, very, very mildly recovering. We'll see if they actually start to prove their status as hedges, because so far they've been pretty mediocre since the peak uncertainty has really begun around the globe. Silver and gold have been pretty mediocre. Crypto Spaces said Bitcoin front runs, so it bottoms first. That'd be nice. Saudi Arabia, yep, we just read that whole thing. 32 large oil tankers, very cool. Recovered more than half of its pre-war export capacity of 7 million barrels per day. They're aggressively looking to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Legends. Absolute legends. Goods inflation has skyrocketed to 3.45%, the highest in 3 years, according to our independent price data. In March alone, goods inflation rose from 0.95 to 3.45 year over year, driven almost entirely by rising gasoline prices, which accounts for 8.12% of goods inflation. Services inflation remained relatively low and stable at 0.65%, down from 0.69% at the beginning of March. True inflation US CPI was at 1.62 year over year today, up from 0.78 on the 1st of March, mainly driven by gasoline. Number go up. That's one of the numbers that we don't like going up. Cointelegraph posted, MLB names Polymarket its exclusive prediction market partner, signs deal with CFTC to build integrity framework. Very cool. TradFi is moving onto crypto rails, with Binance's TradFi Perpetual surpassing 130 billion in volume and 90 million trades, led by gold and silver. Europe's largest asset manager, Amundi, has launched a $100 million tokenized fund on Ethereum and Stellar. That's actually really cool. Good for Stellar. Did they benefit price-wise? Do I still have them on here? I don't know that I do. Yeah, I think I took them off. Let's actually go see. It's been a while. Stellar. No. Looks good, though. 16. Wasn't this thing at 25 a while ago? Yeah, it was. Interesting. It's that sideways, man. That sideways that gets you. The dump and then the chop. The chop following the dump is always worse than the dump itself. Give me the dump all day, man. The dump is so much better. The chop is just so boring. It makes you wonder, you're like, why am I here? Why am I involved in this asset class? JP Morgan has cut its S&P 500 target to 7,200 from 7,500, warning an oil shock is raising recession risks. Really? Animoca Brands has invested in Avalanche and partnered with Ava Labs to expand the Avalanche ecosystem, targeting growth in Asia and the Middle East. That's interestingly topical. Weird. SWE has launched Hashi on DevNet, a Bitcoin finance protocol backed by firms including BitGo, Bullish, Falcon X, Fortify. That's actually a really cool name. That's super clever. And Ledger. It aims to expand Bitcoin's role in DeFi by enabling lending, borrowing, and yield. That's actually really cool. I want to look into that. Fortify. Love that name. That's such a good name. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says the agency is working on a crypto framework to provide greater regulatory clarity and certainty. Very cool. Morgan Stanley has filed an S1 for spot Bitcoin ETF under the ticker MSBT. Is this Morgan Stanley's first spot Bitcoin ETF? I think it might be. Markets expect the Fed to hold rates through 2026, with the first cut now priced in for September 2027. Whoa, that's a long time from now. Dang. OpenAI plans to acquire startup Astro as it expands further into AI developer tools. Wow. Layer 2 ecosystems are consolidating, with more networks shutting down than launching among chains with at least 100,000 in TVS. What is TVS? Total value staked? Interesting. S&P 500 reversed its decline and moved into gains as oil prices slipped under 93 a barrel. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. End of the day, they just flipped the switch. They're like, we're going to do escorts and also it's not our war. Bitcoin Quantum has launched testnet v.3 version 3 with the first live deployment of BIP 360, a quantum-resistant upgrade for Bitcoin. Very cool. Opera seeks 160 million Celo allocation to become a major stakeholder in the Celo network, pending approval. Interesting. I know of Celo. I remember them being a big deal during the bull market, like 2021 bull market. I didn't realize that they were around still. That's interesting. I think their chart looks like horrible. Let's see. Oh. Wow. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Why would you buy any of this? Am I crazy? What do they do? How do you benefit from this? This is such a bad chart. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe my standards are too high for crypto at this point. You just have to accept that pretty much every coin has rugged at one point in time. North Carolina has introduced a bill to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which has already passed its first reading. Very cool. Meta reverses its decision to shut down Horizon Worlds in VR, saying the platform will remain available for existing games after user backlash. That's crazy. Yeah, didn't they put like $80 billion into this thing? Why would they shut that down? That seems so crazy to me. Like, there's games from like the early 2000s that are still live. And Facebook out here, one of the most expensive companies on the planet, most valuable companies on the planet, is like, we're going to shut down one of these things that we just established like 4 years ago. Powell market traders now price a 33% chance of a U.S. recession by the end of 2026, down 11% from recent highs. Crypto Space has said 99% down, but it can drop another 99%. Yes, it can. Downside risk stops at 0, though. Upside risk is infinite. Riddle me that. Alert! Over the past 24 hours, over 403 million in crypto positions were liquidated, including more than 303 million in long positions. Dang. This is from Mark Chadwick, realizing they just approved tokenized stocks on NASDAQ and laid the groundwork for the move the entire global financial system on-chain while everyone is distracted by war and UFOs. Crazy. Companies laying people off because of AI are out of imagination, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. He says AI isn't about doing more with less, it's about doing more with more. What? NVIDIA is expanding beyond hyperscalers into enterprises, governments, and new industries, with growth still accelerating at scale. The company now sees over 1 trillion? That's million, billion. Yeah, 1 trillion in revenue visibility from just 2 product lines through 2027, and even that number is conservative. Much of what was announced isn't in production yet and isn't even counted in that figure. Huang says, we've entered the inference inflection, where AI shifts from training models to real-world usage. These systems are now factories of tokens, turning energy into intelligence and revenue. At the same time, AI is moving beyond language. Models are starting to understand biology, opening new frontiers in healthcare and drug discovery. The divide is becoming clear. Some companies are using AI to shrink, others are using it to expand. Same technology, different outcomes. Dang. CryptoSpaces said no profits, so shut it down. What, for the coins that are... Oh, for Meta? Yeah. I don't know. They have a million things that aren't profitable, I'm sure. Breaking S&P 500 SPX just closed below the 200-day moving average for the first time since May 19th. The last time the S&P closed below the 200-day moving average was May 9th, 2025, during the tariff crash. It fell another 2.3% before bottoming and then rallied 28% over the next 8 months. But the setup was completely different. That was a policy shock with a clear off-ramp, tariff negotiations. This is a physical supply disruption with no end date. Today's damage report, S&P 500, 6,624, minus 1.36%. Dow 46,225, minus 1.63%. Lowest close of 2026. NASDAQ, minus 1.46%. Russell 2000, minus 1.64%. What hit in the same session. PPI plus 0.7, double the 0.3 estimate. Fed held rates. Dot plot showed only one cut. Traders pricing 0. Iran struck Qatar's Ras Laffan. 20% of global liquefied natural gas with ballistic missiles. Brent closed at 107.38. Historically, when the S&P breaks below the 200-day moving average, if it reclaims within 5 days, usually bear trap, V recovery. If it stays below for 2+ weeks, average further drawdown is 12 to 15%. The 200 moving average was the last technical support bulls were defending. It just broke. So basically, we got 5 days to figure out if the S&P is going to do a minimum 20% retrace, which is a bear market for the S&P 500. Crypto Spaces said, are people trading Tau subnets? I don't understand it. I don't know what Tau subnets are. I feel priced out of Tau, to be honest. What's market cap? I'll probably DCA into it. I'm not gonna FOMO though. I like its I like the hype. See, yeah, Canton's number 17. It just freaking came out. I always hate it when a coin is new. Yeah, Tau's number 30. I feel like Tau's at least more valuable than freaking Canton's bullcrap. 5 billion. Tau's at what? 2? Yeah, I think Tau's at least got, what is that? 1.5x? Maybe 2x? That's not financial advice, though. Right now, it looks good because it's pumping. It might look bad tomorrow. Who knows? It's all recency bias. I hate it when a coin is new and it's immediately in the top 10. That's so sketchy to me. It reminds me of ICP. It reminds me of Ohm. Those are all scams. Coins that literally like launch in the top 10 and somehow magically on every single centralized exchange on day one are sketchy. Tom Salscoat said, I mean, if it's a 20% drawdown, if you believe some random guy on Twitter's analysis, well, it's a 20% drawdown is a bear market. That's just 200-day moving average. It's the S&P 500. I think the only thing that can save this from not playing out is a rapid end to the war, which I don't really see happening, but who knows? We've seen crazier stuff play out. You guys really think Bitcoin has bottomed? Interesting. Let's go see. I don't remember what one it was on. I'm just gonna go to the cleanest one that I got. Was it this one? Oh god, that looks so good, dude. That looks so good. That takes us down to our 51.5. That's if you don't stretch it for like whatever you call it, adjust it for inflation or whatever. Let me copy paste the whole dang thing. I'm just gonna do this. So if that was our top, oh, I mean, yeah, if it's gonna play out the same way, then yeah, definitely. But everyone's like, oh, look at this, look at this. These are the people that are calling for like 20, 30K. They're all nut jobs. I feel a little bit bad saying that, but at the same time, I really don't give a shit. Yeah, these people are like, oh, look, it's gonna go down to 30K. 30K doesn't really make sense to me. I'll go with like 50. 50 for me is like, it got pretty bad. Look at how fast it's playing out too, man. God, it looks so good. I don't know if Bitcoin's bottomed. If it has, great. I'm not going to say it has because I feel like every time I feel that way, it doesn't. Like we've definitely seen this before, where we dump, we get a little sideways, we get a little up, and then it dumps again. We get a little sideways, we get a little up. Is it going to dump one more time? No clue. The fractal goes up for sure. That might be it right there. I might have to scoot this and then claim victory. But I am still, personally, based on the previous pullbacks, not going off of October, I'm not plagiarizing a 4chan post and then claiming it as my own and insisting that the 4-year cycle is gospel, even though in the past I said otherwise. I'm not Ben Cowan. We had an 84% pullback from top to bottom here. 71% pullback from top to bottom here. And it makes sense. This one took a really long time. This one took a lot less time. This one could take a lot less time. So timeline-wise makes sense as well. Right here, if you do that, just this math, just this recency math, what is that? 13? Yeah, minus 13. 71 minus 13 is 58. and that 58% pullback puts us at 51,500. I'm not saying it has to go down there, but if it does, I'm not going to be surprised. I would like to see that be the target if we're going to continue lower. But I would personally prefer us having already bottomed. Obviously, that's always the preference, us already bottoming. That would be so much better if we had already bottomed. But I don't know if that's the case, because I feel like I cannot get optimistic. Otherwise, the powers that be instantly humble me. So I'll take that. Past performance is not indicative of future results, which is why it's less. It's diminishing results. So instead of being a 74% pullback, looking for that 58. Mr. Roberts said 50 to 55K. I'm loading up 100%. Top sauce goat. Crypto Spaces said, I don't know if it's bottomed here. Just think it will bottom first. I would like for it to have bottomed. I would. That would be so. And I think that would be freaking hilarious, because you know, all the cocky bears are like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going so much lower. It's going so much lower. Actually, according to the 4-year cycle, the timeline, history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So history would dictate that, in fact, October 2026 should be around the approximate exact bottom. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I thought. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just being practical. Crypto Spaces said, dang, Tom, think bottom is in. I would love for that to be the case, honestly. I'm not going to say I think it is the case, but that also would not surprise me. Most are sidelined, so it would be funny. It would cause all of them to FOMO in. That would be the funniest thing in the world. And I think that that's the problem, is most people think we're going lower. So that's the best case for us not going lower. $1.9 trillion Morgan Stanley files for spot Bitcoin ETF. Very cool. North Carolina introduces bill to establish strategic Bitcoin reserve. Also very cool. Bitcoin now projected to reclaim 90K this year. 58% chance according to Polymarket. Very interesting. Okay, this is a big one. No, it's not. It's not as big as I thought it was. Global Markets Investor posted, is the Korean stock market in a bubble? The Kospi index is now trading at 70% above its 200-day moving average, the highest deviation among any other asset except Bitcoin in years. By comparison, the Magnificent 7 peak was plus 66% in 2022, while gold's high this year was plus 44%, or around 44%. Only Bitcoin's 179% and 85% deviations in 2021 and 2024 have exceeded this level in recent history. When an asset trades this far above its long-term average, a correction is likely. The question is, will it be sharp? Crypto Spaces said, imagine it's bottomed and they say bear market rally and it just keeps going to 400K. That would be so funny, dude. I think I would cry so hard laughing, I would probably poop my pants. Tom Southscout said, look at all the countries jumping in today to help the strait after saying they wouldn't. I think this is over faster than everyone's expecting. The world's economy depends on it. I think so too. And I don't think it's going to be like, things are looking better tomorrow. I think it's going to be very swift, like the powers that be, the world superpowers, are all going to come together and basically be like, Iran, you need to shut the F up and do what we freaking say, or we're going to erase you. And the people in Iran are going to be like, okay, here's the shitty people, take them, and we just want to be a normal-ass country. And I don't know, that's speculation at that point. But I do think it's going to end quick, and I think it's going to be like a light switch. They're going to be like, conflict is over, and no one's going to know. No one's going to know. There's not going to be any hint. There might be like one stupid person, 2, 3 people who place a freaking bet on Polymarket, like, within an hour. And it's not even going to give you enough time to see the article, see the post being like, mysterious Polymarket bets $100 million on blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to think about it. You're going to be like, is that an insider? No. I'll look at it at lunch. And then by the time lunchtime rolls around, it's going to be like, peace in the Middle East. World hunger solved, and everyone receiving $10,000 stimulus checks. It's in your bank account right the fuck now. And you're going to go, what? And you're going to check and Bitcoin's going to be $150,000. You're going to be like, damn it. Crypto Spaces said they will all be saying it'll dump, but it just never does. And all the gurus FOMO. That's what always happens. Dude, we literally just saw it. Everyone insisted. They were like, Bitcoin, bear market, blah, blah, blah. It's going so much lower. And then it pumped. They were like, never mind. I added some here just in case. And then it dumped. And they're like, told you guys. And then it did this. And they're like, I added some here just in case. And then it dumped. And they're like, told you guys. It's over and over again, dude. These people are embarrassing. And what blows my mind, what I think my favorite part of the whole entire thing, is they have paid groups. And the paid groups almost acts like armor for them. Because if I'm paying for the group from, you know, I can't come up with a stupid name. From bitch ass Ben. I'm paying for the bitch ass Ben group. I'm one of Ben's bitches. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, bitch ass Ben is super wrong and he's an idiot. I'm trying to I'm doing the mental gymnastics. Instead of telling myself, oh my god, I wasted all this money paying for bitch ass Ben's group, I'm going to fight for him. I'm going to be like, he's not an idiot. I paid for his group and he's actually really smart and it's totally worth the money. I've already made my money back. And then you're lying, but you're trying to justify the purchase in your head, so you're going to fight for them the entire time so that you don't feel stupid. Because God forbid you feel stupid for a minute. Sometimes you got to feel stupid. I feel stupid all the time. You know how many meme coins I bought that rugged? Jay Shear said, yo, sup family? What's going on, Jay Shear? Guys, if you haven't already, I highly suggest you join the Discord. Links in the description. It's a ton of fun. It's completely free. It's a cool, like-minded community of degenerates, crypto, stocks, metals, just investing in general. We don't really talk shop, honestly. There's like channels dedicated to talking shop in there, but we just kind of dig around. I post a lot of articles in there before I go live. Like as I'm scrolling through, if I see something really prominent, especially after the stream, any updates after the stream, I'll go in there. And again, like I said, it's free. It's always going to be free. There's not going to be no weird thing where I'm like, oh, I'm going to make it private soon. I'm not doing any of that bullshit. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I will never send you a message and ask you for money either. So if you get one, it's probably fake. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? All right, Bitcoin looks great here, 70,582. It's a little bit green, so you know we're instantly bullish. You remember earlier how I said Bitcoin bottomed? Definitely bottomed. I'm just kidding. Global markets investor. This is the long one. Okay. Why are gold and silver prices falling? Gold is down 14%, silver's down 28% over the last 3 weeks, despite the Iran war, Strait of Hormuz blockade, and surging market volatility, conditions that would traditionally send precious metals higher. Silver's falling harder because 50% of its demand comes from industrial use, making it far more sensitive to global economic slowdown triggered by the oil shock. The reason that gold is not driven by fear, for now, is it is driven by reserve flows from surplus countries. After the US and Europe froze Russia reserves in 2022, countries with large trade surplus began shifting excess savings into gold instead of US treasuries, making reserve accumulation the primary driver of gold prices. The problem is that the Strait of Hormuz blockade is crushing export revenues for Gulf states like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait. With revenues collapsing, fears are rising that these countries may need to sell reserves, including gold, to cover government spending rather than accumulate more. The shock is also rippling through Asia as China, the world's largest oil importer, faces slowing growth that compresses its surpluses and reserve accumulation. Put simply, the countries that were buying gold or own it in reserves would have to stop buying for some time or even be forced to sell at some point. Meanwhile, silver is still falling even harder because 50% of its demand comes from industrial use, making it far more sensitive to a global economic slowdown triggered by the oil shock. The structural case for gold is not broken, but gold for now moves with global trade, not global market fears. That sounds like a cop-out bullshit goalpost moving excuse. I think that gold and silver's hedge status is gone, at least for now. And maybe that's stupid and silly, but it's become a gamble at this point. Giovanni Fontes said, what up, Jay? What's going on, Giovanni? What's good, robbers? Everyone doing well? I think I'm going to speak for everyone. I think everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's doing great. Everyone, how are you guys doing? Dammy DeFi. I'm not going to read all this junk, but altcoins awaiting ETF approvals in 2026. The institutional floodgates are opening. Here's who's filing. Cardano, Grayscale, 21 shares, Bitwise. Aave, Grayscale, Bitwise. Polkadot, 21 shares, Van Eck, Bitwise. Avalanche, Bitwise. Canary Capital, Van Eck. Crow, Truth Social Funds. 21 shares, Sweet, 21 shares, Rex shares, and Bitwise. C, 21 shares in Canary Capital. Zcash, Grayscale, and Bitwise. Tau, Bitwise. Near, the rest are Bitwise. Near, Injective, Render, Fetch, Strike? I don't know. Hype, and ICP. Grayscale, 21 shares, Bitwise, and Vanek are leading the charge. Let's freaking go. ADA has highest approval odds, 90%, but CME futures launched February 9th. Earliest approval by August 9th. Honestly, I thought the deadline for Cardano was like last year. So anything that gets approved from this point forward, I'm just going to say I don't give a crap because I feel like it's long overdue. And at this point, I think they're just trying to save face. So I don't think it's going to do anything. But maybe I'm just being a pessimist. Silver's back to $74.27. Gold, $46.86. Are these things going to recover? There were rumors that the folks that were accumulating were selling because they needed the money to pay for the potential blockade assistance in the Strait of Hormuz, which I thought was very, very interesting. DXY potentially recovering here as well. It's interesting. It's really interesting to see a strong DXY. It is. Altcoin Buzz posted, replying to Sweet Network, retail is chasing microcap altcoins for yield. Institutions are building the plumbing to financialize, is that a word? A dormant $1 trillion asset, unlocking even 5% of Bitcoin's base layer capital into decentralized finance completely rewires global liquidity. That is a beautiful word salad. Love it. Campbell's Soup falls to lowest price in nearly 23 years. What is it, $21? Honestly, if this thing gets towards $10, I'll probably buy some. U.S. national debt surpasses $39 trillion for the first time in history. Congrats, everyone. We did it. Yay. We do like number go up. I also think that the national debt's a meme anyways. CBOE volatility index on track for third consecutive weekly close above 25. This would be the only third time that's happened since late 2022. Almost half of all Americans fear a total economic collapse in the next 10 years. New poll shows. Wow, that's crazy. More manipulation in the Japanese yen market. They're going to keep saving it, aren't they? I mean, they should, honestly. Campbell's Soup. Dude, Campbell's Soup is going to do great if we go into a recession. I feel like Campbell's going to explode. Mr. Robert said, yeah, doing fine. Portfolio is killing me, but I'll make it. I thought it said hope you're doing. How are you doing? I like that my fumbles make it sound like Mr. Roberts doesn't know what he's saying because I tripped over his words. That's pretty funny. Oh, delicious. All right, what do we got on the poll? We got 5 votes. We are split. Can we get a 6th vote to split the tie? On the poll in the chat, which asset bottoms first between Bitcoin and housing average right now? Stocks is in 2nd place right now. Giovanni said, same here, man. I try not to look at it and just buy a bit when I get notifications something in my portfolio is down. Luckily, I don't get notifications when stuff is down. I'm in the middle of a trade right now, though, with higher leverage than I should be using. But I do like gambling. Bar chart posted, Meta has traded below its 200-day moving average since Halloween, except for just 5 days. The longest such period of weakness since 2022. Crazy. Alibaba is getting pounded to its lowest price since August. Dang. I mean, that makes sense. No one's buying stuff in bulk anymore, especially with not only gas, but tariffs and imports and stuff like that. Plunge protection team saves the stock market again. Yay! Yeah, literally right before the close. They said something and then number go up. Very cool. We got a couple of coin confessions. I've been part of crypto for just shy of a year, but haven't made many friends. I want to be part of this community, but I feel like an outsider. I try to share funny content related to crypto on my feed, but outside of a couple loyal followers, it feels like I'm often talking to a brick wall. I'm thinking of calling it quits. It's pretty depressing. I'm not gonna lie. Not that instance in particular, but the NFTs at the beginning. Okay, we did break our tie. At the beginning of my journey in getting into crypto, the NFT communities were so cool. And it was just communities of just people having fun. Literally like buying art for the sake of art. You know, there were bad actors, there are still bad actors, there was always going to be bad actors, but the vast majority of people were just cool people that wanted to hang out. And it was so much fun. And that has entirely disappeared from the space. There's still groups of great folks, but it's so hard to like build upon that or to find new groups. It's crazy because it used to be just full. It's like going to a college town on a party night and every single house is filled with parties. And now suddenly that college is gone and there's no college kids living in the houses, and you drive down the street and it's just a barren wasteland. That's what it feels like. There's literally nobody. It's crazy. So hopefully we can get to that jovial thing soon. You know, we don't need to be making money all the time to hang out and have fun, enjoy each other's company. Giovanni, okay. Justin, Crypto OG said I'm in a 10x long on Zebek and a 17x long on Caspa since the lows of 28. Dude, Caspa pumped today, didn't it? It's up like 25%, isn't it? Mr. Robert said, yep, Giovanni, I have a little dry powder left to buy the dip, but holy smokes, I'm getting nervous. I'm actually still majority dry powder. I feel bad. I feel like I should have deployed more at the lows. But I'm happy with my bags. Maybe that's the problem. I'm happy with my bags, and if it skyrockets, I don't think I'm going to feel any regret. I guess it depends on how much it skyrockets. If it skyrockets a lot, and I know I could have like made X amount of more money if I would have like deployed more dry powder, that might be a problem. All right, let's go check Casper really quick, just because I know that it pumped today, I think. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. That is a 2.82% candle since the Pico low here on Sunday. Almost 1 week later, 26%. Very nice. Giovanni said, I feel that. I'm hoping my VA claim gets approved and back paid soon so I can buy more. Hell yeah, Giovanni. Thank you for your service. Bitcoin, $70,517. Congratulations to Caspa holders. Also, I think Polkadot's still turning heads. Yeah, dude. I'm so impressed with this. This thing was garbage, and then boom, 33% retrace, a little baby retrace too, a little 16% retrace, then boom, 20%, and then another little baby retrace. So far 6%. Watch it do it again. It's gonna go up 12% this time. Just gambling. It's crazy though. Like, this thing's doing amazing. I'm very, very excited for them. I think that there's some bearing to that, the yield bearing altcoins. I think that there's some merit to that thought process, especially with clarity and stuff. Allegedly, I saw something today that somebody involved said that they're 99% of the way there with clarity. In my opinion, with how important that allegedly is, if you're 99% there, just sign the fucking thing. These people are idiots, I'm sorry. I think they're all stupid. They're all stupid, selfish, greedy assholes. Giovanni said, still don't know how to feel about Cass. So I think what sold it for me was when they had the opportunity to list on Binance for free. Binance launched that program. They're like, we're going to do deep research and we're going to pick one project every once in a while to list for free. And they were like, the first one that they picked, I think, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure the first one that they picked, they were like, we figured out the first one. It's going to be Caspa. And then the guy from Caspa literally like walks up on stage. This is metaphorical. There was no stage. It all happened on like Twitter. But he walks up on stage and he's like, he goes up to the mic and everyone's like, yeah. CZ's like, let's go money. And then he walks up and he goes, no, thank you. And then he leaves. And CZ's like, what? It's pretty epic. I'm not going to lie. So that like solidified their Chuck Norris status in my brain. Chuck Norris, by the way, thoughts and prayers, depending on your religion, beliefs, and whatever. Just, you know, put some good energy out there for Chuck Norris, because I believe he's been hospitalized from Hawaii. He had a medical emergency. Tom Salscoat said, yeah, those selfish, greedy assholes pumped my bags already. Oh, wait. For real. Either pump my bags or send me a stimulus check, bitch. All right. Confession number 2. I work for a decently sized crypto project and have no clue what I'm doing. Hell yeah. Mr. Roberts said, hell yeah, Giovanni. I didn't realize you were military. Right on, bro. Last confession. A few years ago, I got a $2,000 loan and put it into a crypto game. Worst investment decision of my life. Be careful out there, guys. If you're ever investing, this is not financial advice, but I would never finance my investments. I would never get a loan and then invest that lent money, ever. Because that's essentially leverage, and I think it's a bad idea, personally. Michael Saylor, on the other hand, he would tell you all day. He does, actually. He insists that you should mortgage your house, get a loan, dump all of your money into Bitcoin. And I don't think that that's bad advice. I just personally wouldn't do it myself. But that's just me. Oh my gosh, we don't have a third poll. Let's see. I'm gonna do a weird one. Let's do a weird one. When does JJ hit 2K subs on YouTube? I'm gonna go Q2 2026. I'm gonna go Q3 2026. I'm gonna go Q4 2026. And then I'm gonna go sometime in 2027 or later. Honest opinion, when do you guys think we're gonna hit 2,000 subscribers? I've tried to broaden the horizon because I do believe in diversity. I think that you need to be more not just focused on one asset. And I learned my lesson from that, so I feel like it's a good lesson to be putting out there. Tom Selleck's goat. Oh, Mr. Roberts said, yeah, Giovanni. Giovanni said, but JJ, Bitcoin at 40K wouldn't make you consider taking a loan for it? That's what I have dry powder for. You know what I mean? Technically, I would deploy my dry powder, and then I would take a loan for my personal expenditures. That's completely different. Is that cheating? Is that cheating? Like I have money, and then I spend that on Bitcoin, and then I get a loan, and I use the loan to pay for all the other stuff that I had the money for. Technically, okay, we have not had any conspiracy time, and I think that it's healthy for us to have conspiracy time every stream. So we're gonna talk about these fireballs in the sky. What's going on with the fireballs in the sky, man? Let me go to. I'm gonna see if we can find anything about the fireballs. Fireballs in the sky. Yeah, look at this. Bright meteorite fireball lit up the sky. This was just 4 days ago. This one was over Turkey. There was some over Texas. East Coast, mystery fireball falling from the sky lights up East Coast. There was a bunch of meteorites like hitting freaking Ohio. Look at that. That's in South Carolina. Oh, that's from 2025. Meteor sightings, Ohio. That's crazy. Texas. Literally, there's just fireballs everywhere, dude. No way. Homemade trebuchet. Oh, yeah, I've seen these. That's so sick, dude. That is so sick. Take note. Apocalypse. If you guys need a homemade trebuchet, you just need a couple of pieces of wood, some string, and a freaking rim. An old rim or something. This is actually, you guys might not know this, but this is actually live footage from North Korea. This is North Korean missile launch. They're so, dude, the Lazarus group is taking all of my money. I'm so screwed. I just screwed myself so hard. Hopefully, the tinfoil prevents that. Mr. Roberts, yep, got him. Giovanni said got him. Pattern established, that's 2025 again. Yeah, it seems so randomly recurring. Before calling these all meteors, March is statistically the slowest month of the year for meteor activity in the northern hemisphere. No major showers are active and sporadic events. It's just super interesting to see all this stuff. happening out of nowhere. Not a burning building, but this. Meteor fireball in Turkey. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. The Ohio ones cracked me up because I got a buddy that lives in Ohio, and I always meme on him. And I sent him that, and I'm like, dude, the universe is literally like raining fire upon your state. Because it was like a lot of meteors. There was like meteorite shower, just strictly focused on Ohio. I was like, what is this? You need to flee. Flee Ohio. It was pretty funny. All right. 25%. Oh my gosh, we got an even split. You guys are crazy. Can we get one more vote on the poll in the chat? When does JJ hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube? So far, we're tied for all four. We got Q2, Q3, Q4, and sometime in 2027 or later. Any new confessions? Nope. Let's see if there's anything. I'm sure that there's new stuff from Kobayashi letter. And maybe Watcher Guru. I gotta check. Cointelegraph kind of useless, to be honest. Good for crypto stuff, specifically. Marty Party. I've never seen somebody say people so many times. That's like his favorite word is just people. Look at, I was cracking up while I was prepping for the stream. Because I vet all of these posts. I like manually go through. Look at how many times he says people. I'm just going to search, actually. People. Boom. Latest. 2 hours ago. 3 hours ago. 6 hours ago. People. People. Most people. 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 Out of every 10 baby people. Where people. He opens people. Most of his posts, people, with the word people. And it's a weird word now. Now it sounds weird because I've said it so many times. Like, who talks like that? That's my stepdad used to say, what I'm getting at all the time. I feel like people is so much worse. Because you sound a little condescending. You're like, people. Educate newbies looking at crypto token dollar prices. People. To reiterate again, Venezuela and Iran have nothing to do with drugs. People. Again. The mighty US dollar and tokenized US securities are going to flow. People act on fear, not on value or reason. People, crypto haters and fudders are typically... Oh my god, he said people like 14 times in this one. That one's got to be rare. That's got to be worth a little bit of money. I was cracking up earlier. I was like, damn, that's like the word of the day, like at Pee-wee's Playhouse. Every time Marty Party says people, all the furniture goes, what? Oh man, that was a deep cut for all you Pee-wee's Playhouse fans out there. The value of U.S. data centers under construction has officially surpassed the value of office buildings under construction for the first time in history. Data centers under construction are up 29% year over year to a record $45.1 billion. Meanwhile, the value of offices under construction are down 13% to $43.5 billion, the lowest since October 2015. Since November 2022, when ChatGPT was launched, data center construction is up 228%. Over the same period, office construction is down 38%. AI is reshaping the U.S. economy. I will say, how many more office buildings do you have to build? You know what I mean? Like, this actually makes sense. And obviously, in the future, it's going to get even more crazy. But it just makes sense because there's not a lot of data centers out there. So it makes sense that you have to build those. And we have existing infrastructure already there for office buildings. So, plus you can work from home. You don't even need an office. You can't data center from home. That doesn't even make any sense. All right. I suppose we should call it. Gold and silver hopefully going to recover and stop looking like pieces of crap. S&P, we'll see what it opens up at tomorrow. Let's actually see what after hours looks like. Stock market after hours. We are up. Dow is up 0.36. S&P's up 0.31 and NASDAQ is up 0.23. That's like world-ending positivity for the stock market. Very cool. Congratulations. Good for them. All right. Guys, appreciate you guys for joining, as always. When the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, let's go. We got a fifth vote. You guys voted Q2 2026. I agree. Let's make it happen. As always, guys, when the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday and good night.